Welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson, and I'm back at Poseidon's in Loveland, Colorado. I did a video here a couple months ago, and it was kind of the pre-open thing. Well, now they're fully open. The expansion they said they were going to do, they've done. So let's go check out the store. So today's the grand opening. We've got special sales going on. They've got loads of stock. So let's go check things out. For the grand opening, Poseidon's was selling all of their fish 30% off. And they had just got a huge shipment of fish in. So I immediately started walking the aisles, looking to see what saltwater fish that they got and what was cool. They had a lot of cool stuff. They had your normal bread and butter fish, but then they also had some crazy stuff like this feather star. Granted, it's not a fish, but this is one of the coolest starfish I've ever seen. In fact, I'd never seen one anywhere besides here. This thing was amazing. Now, it may not do well in captivity, but they're gonna try and keep it in one of their display tanks and see how it does. They had tons of really cool fish at great prices, and here's what I picked up. So I couldn't resist. I really came here hoping for yellow chorus wrasses. They don't have any. They have an awesome pair of blue throat triggers that just came in. So I had to pull the trigger. I've loved these fish. They're a bit of an impulse buy. I've been wanting them forever. I've been kind of afraid they'd eat my cleanup crew, but I'm gonna risk it. Let's see how it goes. And as for those chorus wrasses, well, I put them on order. I'll get those in a couple of weeks. This video, this is a jawfish. I put him on because he's amazing. One thing I think sets Poseidon's apart is all of the display tanks. They have so many different ones. They have freshwater, saltwater, reef tanks. There's a lot of options, and you can just walk the store and let your imagination go wild. You can see different ways to do different things, and they have cards on there so you can see what's actually in the tank. My favorite of these was the anglerfish. So I was noticing this nano tank, and it looks really cool and easy for anybody to set up. Tell us about the fish in there and a little about the tank, because I love this.
Well, the fish in there is a anglerfish. They're a predatory fish, kind of an ambush predator. They'll lay in wait completely still until something they can fit in their mouth comes by, and then boom, and it's gone. But they don't move around a lot. Like I said, he just kind of hangs out, trying to look as silent and quiet as he can, and so this is actually a perfect little tank for him. I would recommend just regular water change, good husbandry on the tank to keep it going, keep him happy and healthy. And right now he's in there with a spider decorator crab, which I think is about 3 times too big for him to put in his mouth, but we'll find out. And he's also in there with a little damsel, who he may be able to eat, and we'll find that out eventually too.
He may disappear.
He may.
And that coral-looking thing isn't coral. What is that?
That is great kelp.
That is cool.
And we actually propagate that here. We've got it in our touch and feel tank. It just grows like weeds, and we actually sell some to the public and keep some for ourselves.
Tell us a little about the tank. What is it? What size?
So this is an innovative marine tank. It does have a built-in filter to overflow with a super nice little directional output. It is a 10-gallon. It is a cube, which makes it really nice as like a centerpiece tank. You don't see the gear. It's all hiding in the back. And as you can see, it is big enough for saltwater creatures. So far, this has worked out great. This is like our camouflage tank with the decorator crab and our clown angler.
I'm in the news section of the store, and it's really cool. It's not what I expected. It's completely different than anything I've ever seen in a fish store. Let's take a quick walkthrough and just see what this place looks like. The expansion portion is primarily for gear. There are some display tanks in here and some stuff for sale, but it's really gear. What's really cool about it is they've lined the walls with artwork. Now this artwork is fish related, and it's actually for sale. It's really awesome. Now the building's an older building in downtown Loveland, Colorado, and they've gone ahead and stuck with the original architecture, which is actually really cool. May have made it harder for them to be an actual fish store because it's lots of little rooms, but they've worked with it and they've done a great job. They've got the place packed with all the dry goods you would need to start an aquarium. Tons of tanks, tons of gear, everything you would need, plus tons of local art hanging on the wall to accessorize your fish room. I love this setup. I love what they did. They've done a great job with this.
I'm the freshwater girl.
Oh, I'm sorry, freshwater. I said it wrong.
Don't sell me. I know like this much.
I know only saltwater.
Right.
So Kylie, I see all these babies. I love the babies. Kind of tell me what happened and what we've got.
Well, as I may have mentioned already, most of these guys are accidents. We're just kind of rolling with the punches here. It's usually better to take them away from their parents. Stuff happens, and this way we can really make sure that they get the attention that they need. These guys here are probably our oldest babies. They're about 2 months old now. Just got the 2 of them left. As I mentioned, they were, you know, kind of a surprise. So we weren't able to get all of them. But since then, we've had much more success intentionally. These guys are about 2.5 weeks old, and these guys are about a week and a half.
So this is absolutely awesome. You've got babies here. Now, this would seem like ideal for somebody who's coming in, you've had babies with your fish, you come in here and you can really find out how to take care of them and get the supplies you need.
It's not nearly as hard as people think it is. In fact, as I mentioned, most of these were accidents.
The golden shell dwellers, explain these guys because I'm fascinated with them.
So these are our only African cichlid babies that we've got so far. They come from Lake Tanganyika. They are shell dwellers, which is, they've got shells to choose from. They like to hang out. They're a lot like gobies for you saltwater people. They like to perch and they like to dig. They move the sand around. All of these little dunes are made actually mostly by their parents. These guys aren't quite old enough and big enough to start doing it yet. But you can see we've got 8 of them in here. They just moved in. They're still getting used to their surroundings and current and everything else. But I'm really looking forward to see how they grow. They already look like their parents. They're just very teeny tiny.
And I gotta say, I just love the look of this style tank with the shells and the black rock and the little fish going in and out. It looks lovely.
It's very minimalistic, and that I like that a lot too. That's, well, and it's a lot easier to take care of. Makes it very easy to clean out.
So one thing you were telling me is you got 4 display tanks you can kind of do whatever you want with as part of your job, which sounds like the best job possible to me. Tell us about this discus tank you're setting up, because I love it.
Well, he was the only one we had left, and he was the biggest one we had. He was living with the angelfish for a while, but that's really not ideal if you know much about freshwater. They're just a little bit too rowdy for him. So after this tank became available, I decided that I would make it his tank. So I've planted it really heavily. There's a lot of really discus-friendly fish in here. Most of them are hiding because of that. They're not very active fish. He's a lot more active than I thought he might be, and we're gonna maybe get him some friends in the future. Now that he has a discus tank, with all these plants, it'll bring down the pH, make it nice and soft for him. But he's really been enjoying the foliage, and it's he likes to hide in there. But he's much more friendly than he was, which is great, which tells me that he's a happy fish.
The store's really cool. I've had a blast here. And it's ribbon cutting ceremony time. And then I find out what really makes the people behind Poseidon's tick. Please forgive the audio quality.
But the big vision of this is to do special needs, Down syndrome and autism programs, very dear to my heart. My husband and I are looking to adopt 1, maybe 2 or 3 children that suffer from autism, and that's kind of the hidden disorder, as people call it. And so what Poseidon's does is that through water therapy and color therapy, we can actually enhance and mitigate the anger that people feel when they have any kind of children with disorders, because everybody likes to.
Poseidon's doesn't appear to be your normal fish store. It's an art gallery. It's a fish store. It's an aquarium. It's a place to make friends. It is a place to help people with special needs. It is an amazing place that we are lucky to have in our community.